Well, guys, I think that's live. I think we're coming through. We'll give everyone a chance to tune in, and I will keep an eye on the chat as well. So smash that like button, share this around. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. We'll take some questions. We're going to have a look at the charts. Everyone wants to know what's going on with altcoins at the moment. But never a dull moment in crypto, and who would have thought that we'd be at 50,000 subscribers? So let me know if this is all coming through loud and clear, guys. Thanks to everyone that's tuning in already. Thanks to you guys. You're normally the first ones to watch every video and leave a like and a comment, all those sort of things that do help us out. And I'm going to talk about the journey a little bit as well as we do get into it. Looks like it's all coming through loud and clear. Thanks, Glenn, Leonard, Mark, Mr. Squiggle, Angelo. You guys are always here supporting us. G'day from Hobart as well. Good to see Tassie people getting involved. So yeah, we are going to have a look at the charts in just a second. And Bitcoin had another little leg lower today. I'll take a lot of the mess off this chart in just a second. But I just want to go over quickly how far we've come. So for those that don't know, I first got into Bitcoin back in 2012, and it really became one of those things, I guess, like a splinter in your mind. Some people describe it when you go down the rabbit hole and learn about banks and money. So for years, I was reading about that, watching all the documentaries, hanging out on the Bitcoin subreddit and learning everything I could. And then that really started to accelerate in 2016 when I really wanted to learn more about Ethereum and what else could be done with blockchain. And then it all took off in 2017. And one of my friends added me to a few of the Facebook groups that were going around at the time, and I picked up the phone and I actually deleted the first ever video I did. So this was the old MS Paint logo that I knocked up there. The first ever video I did was pretty bad and was just telling people how to buy crypto in Australia, and people wanted more. So the second or third video I ever did was talking about where the Bitcoin price was heading. This was right in the middle of 2017, and a lot of people saying, is Bitcoin in a bubble? It's just gone over $1,000 and all this sort of thing. And, I was talking about China and the banning crypto and how I think we've got a few more of these sort of market cycles left and the halvening. And at that time, I don't think I was ever thinking that Bitcoin was going to go to $20,000 at least within a year. So I think one thing we continually underestimate with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is how small it is and how finite of a supply it is. And when lots of people want to buy it and there's lots of money sloshing around the world today, the price can go up so much. So yeah, times have changed a lot since then. We've got a website, we've got a great team. We've got our newsletter, we've got our group with our premium stuff that we do there as well. So yeah, I guess thanks to everyone that supports us, whether it's just with a like and a comment on YouTube or our paid subscribers with all our premium content and those extra premium videos and all that sort of stuff we do. So let's get in and have a look at the charts, and yeah, let me know how long you guys have been a subscriber for. Let me know what you want me to talk about. I'm happy to take all questions at the end and make this a bit of an AMA. I'm going to wrap it up before 7:30 because I want to watch Australia in their World Cup cricket semi-final against England. But if we take all the clutter off the charts, all the lines and that, let's just have a look at Bitcoin since it's been in this uptrend in this daily chart. And you can draw this trend line a number of ways, but there's not that much to be worried about. There's a number of trend lines that we can draw, and Bitcoin is still in an uptrend on plenty of these. So there's nothing to be worried about, and even more so when we take all that clutter off again, just looking at those moving averages. Now, personally, I use the 12 and 26 exponential moving averages, and believe it or not, I thought I borrowed that off Dan and the chart guys because it was working so well, but Dan said he also made the move away from Bollinger Bands and a few other things I used to have on my charts if you're a subscriber really early on. So I always love trading and options and the world of volatility, but I definitely think as a trader, when you get to sink your teeth into this full time, and probably over the last 2 years, I definitely feel that I've refined my style and I've made plenty of big mistakes, but it's all about learning from those and surviving. And you find that if you can survive those first couple of years and the mistakes, then you hit that period where you can consistently avoid making those bad mistakes and you learn from it. And you don't have to hit the big home runs. It's about just getting little winners. And I've got a video coming out tomorrow, hopefully, about best portfolio structure and how I think about putting together a portfolio long term and how I balance that off my trading and all that sort of thing as well. But back to this, we're in an uptrend. We haven't lost these daily moving averages yet. We're still making higher lows on the daily time frame as long as we get a close anywhere above sort of 11,000 here. So the other day when we did break out of this sort of triangle pattern, one thing I did say for our members was that this volume wasn't overly convincing for a big breakout of a pattern that everyone was watching when all eyes are on crypto Twitter and the traders and all the YouTubers are talking about a pattern. When we get a big breakout and there's not a lot of volume, that was probably the only thing that had me a little bit worried. And look, it has rolled over thereafter. So it's not the end of the world when we haven't lost key levels just yet. There's still plenty of excitement around crypto, and there's always some sort of news that people point to. So today there was a block that got rejected, and people saying, is this meaning Bitcoin's got a bug and it's broken? But Bitcoin was doing exactly what it was meant to do, where those miners tried to claim more than the block reward and the other nodes rejected it. So nothing too much to worry about there, guys. If we have a look at the weekly chart, it's not that pretty. We don't like these big wicks, these spinning tops, and the sellers coming in. But we have to acknowledge that we went so quickly from 3 or even 4,000, and you need to. One thing that I've really noticed lately is that there's big money. So some of the people that I help get set up with their crypto and how to store it, and which coins they might want to look at and all that sort of thing. People are putting in regularly $500,000 into crypto these days. And back in 2017, I helped a few people get set up with their, changing their AntShares wallet to the Neon wallet and all that sort of thing. And it was, plumbers, tradies, guys that were throwing $1,000 or $10,000 at a few altcoins, way back in 2017. Now it's a very different demographic I see. Doctors, lawyers, people putting in $1 million of their self-managed super into Bitcoin. And you've got to remember that anyone that bought under 4,000 has tripled their money. So it's not people that are speculating and hoping to get these 10, 20, 100 X's like altcoins. People are going to take profits. If you put in $1 million at 4K and you're sitting on 3 mil, you're probably going to sell some Bitcoin. So whenever it goes up so quickly, we just have to be prepared that there's going to be some profit taking. So that's why I like to keep an eye on the RSI and sentiment and all those measures to get a feel for when we might have a pretty sharp pullback, and put your trader hat on and try and make some money there as well. But really, longer term, I just want to put on that log chart. I just want to zoom out. One of the most popular videos we've done is the 4-year cycle, and we've seen how aggressively Litecoin just took off from around $20, 5x or so. And I think Bitcoin is going to have some sort of big run up that really surprises people as we approach that halving. So longer term picture, I'm really excited about that next market cycle. I think the next few years, look at how quickly this space changes. We see Libra in the headlines, and all of a sudden everyone from US Congress to people on the street have got Bitcoin and crypto under their nose. So guys, I have been rambling on a little bit here. Let's just zoom in and make sure that this doesn't resume its downtrend. But other than that, I'm going to have a look at the chat and take some questions off you guys. So let's scroll up here. Thanks to everyone that has tuned in, and let's read through. So what's happening with altcoins? I've got a video about those coming out and the cycles, and at the moment, everyone feels, I think there's more pain to be had in terms of against their Bitcoin charts. But in terms of their US dollars, everyone's kind of acting like it's the end of the world, and the ETH Bitcoin pair tends to be a good gauge for all the altcoins. And this chart is making new lows, and I was one of the people that was really hoping for this to find some support and turn around. I love my Ethereum, but this looks like it is going to continue lower for the time being. And this is somewhat of that sort of capitulation chart where it drags along and you think surely it can't go lower. And if we look at Ethereum's actual dollar price, sitting around $270 when it bottomed at around $80. So it's not the end of the world. It feels really painful because Bitcoin is outperforming, but I clearly remember a trade that I lost money on, and this is one of those things I talk about that you learn from, and that was back here when Ethereum had gone all the way up to 0.15 Bitcoin, and I was looking at getting in a trade somewhere around here from memory, and anyway, it collapsed and went a lot lower, and I think I got liquidated at the time, and in my mind, I was so bullish on Ethereum, thinking, how can this ratio possibly go any lower? And sure enough, it absolutely rockets high as whatever that is, 400 or 500% thereafter. So yes, it is frustrating when altcoins are underperforming. I think far too many people own a lot of small cap altcoins that maybe aren't going to bounce back, but they're going to be plenty of good projects that do bounce back, and money rotates from Bitcoin into altcoins. It's that new wave of speculation when we get plenty of new retail investors coming into the space. Maybe it takes passing of that 20,000 and the new all-time high, and that feeling of FOMO and Bitcoin's too expensive. What are the coins under $1? All those mistakes that the noobs make. And then people will look further down that list, and all the friends and that are going to be shilling their bags, and that cycle will repeat. So there's been plenty of alt seasons. 2014, 2015, Aurora coin was one of those ones. Big mistake that I made. Peercoin, Namecoin. A lot of these coins never really recovered compared to the whole space that grew 10-fold, 100-fold. And there's going to be some of those coins that a lot of people end up being bag holders that never recover. It's all part of the fun, I guess. When 50k Bitcoin, I tend to sort of underestimate with my guesses. So I still think $1 trillion market cap is on the cards, even for this year, if we get plenty of STO projects launch and that sort of thing. Think about if Facebook launches Libra, they're going to have a huge market cap. So all these things are possible for the crypto space. But I think long term, I'm pretty much in line with a lot of people where I think Bitcoin's next target should be around 100,000 in the next few years. And then let's take it from there one step at a time. We never know what is around the corner. Bit more of a tan. Yeah, I don't get out much these days. Believe it or not, I used to spend a lot of time outdoors playing football, cricket. But these days, working inside from the office. Ever seen the movie Big Short? Love it. There's so many good movies out there about the, about the GFC, and I don't think a lot of that stuff has been fixed. And everyday people are waking up to this fact. So in Australia, we've got interest rates at record lows, gold price at record highs. People worried about the household debt. These issues in economics, I didn't like economics at high school, finance. I thought that stuff was boring, but more people are realizing that this is so important, and it affects you, yourself, your family, your future. And if you can position yourself on the right side of all this, then, you can prosper as well as, survive. So news coming out today that I heard, I did post about this on Twitter, I believe, for you guys just before, that we're hearing stories of a precious metals dealer in Australia that has been forced into liquidation by the ATO. There's some interpretation about GST rules and that sort of thing. And unfortunately, people that had their self-managed super, their gold and silver in storage boxes there, are being told that they can't access their assets. So let's wait to see more details about how that sort of plays out. But one thing I've tried to avoid a lot on the channel is too much of the clickbait or the fear porn stuff, because I believe there's times to be bullish and bearish on all markets. And, it's not like you never want to own property or never want to own stocks. There's good and bad times, and good investors need to be, nimble and change their opinion. But lately, when you hear about things like gold confiscation, you think, far out, this stuff is actually playing out in the real world, and I didn't think that would ever happen. I still think gold and Bitcoin both play a role, particularly in the world of stock markets with just trillions of derivatives. They need to park that money in gold. Bitcoin is too small to park all that money in just yet. I just spoke about the altcoin cycle. Who wins the World Cup? I hope Australia win the World Cup. Although I don't think they're crowd favourites in England after the scandal. Are you the guy that triggered the dip the other day? It wasn't that exciting. Was that that was the day before, wasn't it, from memory, on the 5-minute chart, when we got an absolute huge drop there on Binance. Someone sold 6,500 Bitcoins, and a lot of people are worried about the Mt. Gox coins coming online and those having to be sold. But look how quickly the market gobbled up those Bitcoins the other day, 6,500 in 15 minutes. So even if there has to be a large number of Bitcoins sold, I was talking to someone about this the other day, they're probably going to negotiate a private deal. Someone's already put in an offer that's above the settlement rate. So people out there are going to want to buy those Bitcoins. The market's going to absorb it, but that doesn't mean that that's not going to cause FUD and all those news articles short term and people to panic. Power Ledger, yep, they're coming back on the channel soon. I want to really dive into the asset germination, the security token side of things that they want to launch, where we can all fund renewable energy projects. So I'm excited about that. Silver, yeah, I was one of those people that bought some silver as one of my first investments. And hey, in terms of Aussie dollars, it's actually gone up, believe it or not, even though silver price has gone down over the past sort of 10 years or so. Holding gold in the Perth Mint, I believe that'd be one of the safest. We have a partnership with Ainsley Bullion as well, so you can get a discount there on precious metals, another trusted Australian company. I haven't traded margin trading on Binance yet, so that is coming. I've had a look at Bybit the other day, so they also have EOS and XRP US dollar pairs. So one of the things with BitMEX is a lot of the other coins are just traded against Bitcoin. And personally, I've always preferred trading against dollar terms and wanting to know if my account size is going up or down. And each to their own. Some people like to stack sats and trade against Bitcoin. Cardano, that has been one that's really frustrating for holders, isn't it? You would have said that they've made so much progress since the last time they were down at this price, but where did it bottom out there? Around 3 cents, and currently sitting at around 6. Yeah, it is slow progress for a lot of these platform-based projects, unfortunately. Let's zoom back in there. What do you guys think? We're really at the tipping point here. If you zoom out, we're right at the midpoint, which is why I've got all these higher lows and lower highs and whatnot from this equilibrium pattern that we broke out of, and we're right back in the middle. So if we break down below, that's maybe going to be a downtrend for a little while. If we can push higher, as I said, we never really lost that downtrend. So what do you guys think? I don't think it's looking too bad at the moment, but it feels like we're right at the tipping point, and this is really important level for tonight's trading session for you guys in the US and Europe while I'm asleep. Where do you see yourself in 1 year's time? Isn't that like a job interview style question? One of the best things about my job, and I wasn't very happy at my old job as a pharmacist and whatnot. Now I get to do what I love every day, which is super cliche, I guess. But the thing with crypto is it's one day at a time. Wake up, look at the charts, read the news, and there's normally something to make a video about or explain. Put a post up in our group. Multiple posts each day. There's just so much happening in the crypto world that you don't really think 1 year at a time. Put it this way, a year ago, we were making Microsoft Paint logos and trying to work out how to survive crypto winter. And then here we are, all of a sudden we blast off back to 14,000 when we were worrying if we'd even be able to survive. So every day, every month, every year, just take it as it comes, I believe, at this stage. Still bullish on Horizon State and Amici. Yes, I did a good interview with Nemo about how they have started producing revenue. Some of the smaller projects that I've supported, AgriChain, they're producing revenue. I'll give you guys a little bonus here. They've partnered with one of the biggest companies in Australia, and we can't put out an announcement yet. There's a lot of rules around that sort of stuff. But they're producing revenue. They've got partnerships. And I know people are super critical because of low token price, but how many startups can say that they've built a product, they've got users in the real world using their product, and they're producing revenue and cash flow? So all those things are a big step in the right direction. And we have to remember that we're like a year into the the life cycle of some of these startup businesses. And sometimes everyone expects that it's just going to be this home run and everyone's going to be rich within 1 year. But these things can take a number of years. And in the world of venture capital investing, a lot of these startups ask for your money and then it's locked for 5 or 7 years. And people in the crypto space, they want their tokens as soon as they send their money, and they want them to go up in price, straight away. So it's very different, and some people are starting to learn that now. Misa Go, I interviewed them at DevCon, and I think recently, if you check their announcements, they've had plenty of good things going on. Plasma's back on track. They've built that the model for you to import your dApps onto Plasma. So Plaps, I believe, was the name of that article if you want to read it. If you want to learn TA, where's the best places to go that don't cost a fortune, there's plenty of good, just go to YouTube. Even I did some free stuff back in the day. There's plenty of good free websites out there. The Chart Guys do a free daily update every day. The Node Investor is another channel people like. There's plenty of good traders on Twitter for free. I think the Chart Guys course is around $100 with the discount that we have. So that is one of the cheaper ones out there. And obviously, if you want to spend more, Trader Cobb has some sort of premium courses. The Fed discussing Libra today. So I think everyone's sick to death of people talking about Facebook coin, but the Federal Reserve chairman talking about it and saying that it needs to be cracked down on. I think this whole rabbit hole that people have gone down about how banks' debt and money works, it's really just thrown this out into the public sphere to discussion. The fact that Facebook are now saying, we are challenging banks, corporations, governments. What is money? We want to launch our own. And I did an interview with Philip Shelper about rewards programs and, online sort of coupons and all that sort of thing. And what is money? Where does this, where's this fit on the scale? And I read a super interesting stat today. Something like Facebook have 30% of the world's population as users, but only 4% are in the US. So when you think about the US dollar and Congress getting up in arms, it's actually the other 96% of users in a lot of countries that don't have good financial system that might be using Libra anyway. So maybe that's where they want to gain a lot of traction. Again, I don't see it as a threat for Bitcoin at all. I've done a video about that. It's going to lead more people to Bitcoin. IOTA's looking strong. I haven't checked that recently. IOTA, I was really surprised at how mixed responses people got from that interview. Some people absolutely hate IOTA and are calling it a scam. I thoroughly enjoyed that interview we did and the progress that they've made for trying to remove the coordinator node. I think, yes, thanks for saying that some of the interviews about the economy lately have been great. This interview we did with Raul has been one of our best. So this is a bit of a look behind the scenes at our metrics, and you can see the video views and the watch time. And this one's, I think it's on target to be one of our best performing videos ever. And I think I've noticed a lot of other YouTubers are starting to talk about the macro economy and all that sort of thing. So that was something that I tied into my Sunday video and my other pieces from day one. And a lot of people used to say, why are you talking about the global news in a crypto video, a crypto channel? And now everyone has kind of put the same pieces together that this is super important to Bitcoin's future. What is happening in Europe with the Fed, even in Australia, property bubbles, all these things get people talking about money. Well, guys, there's 5 minutes to the cricket. I think I am going to wrap it up. Thanks so much to everyone that has tuned in today. Please smash that like button. If you want to get more daily updates, guys, head over to nuggetsnews.com.au and join our group. And thanks to everyone that's subscribed. 50,000. Who would have thought? It's been awesome. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.